Welcome everyone to the Juniper Veil. I wanted to do a spread for the full moon tomorrow. Well, technically it's for me it's later on tomorrow morning. So I'm going to do this spread tonight. The full moon is in Cancer, and I'm going to use the Endless Tarot by Eric Mail. I found this tarot spread on labyrinthos.co. They have a bunch of tarot spreads on there, and I saw that they had full moon ones, so that caught my eye. Never done a full moon spread. I'm going to do this for the United States. So this is the full moon in Cancer spread for the United States. We're going to have, I took out the Chariot card. The Chariot card corresponds to Cancer in the tarot. So we're going to leave that card here in the middle. And when we look at the Chariot card, we're thinking about movement, changes. Sometimes other readers have said that, that's kind of like their trafficking card. So, it could be good, it could be bad. Let me zoom in a little bit. I think we're going to be able to see the cards a little bit better if I zoom in. But as you can see, the Chariot card in this deck, which is a beautiful deck, you see this person on the path going into the city. So what I'm going to do is for this spread, I'm going to pull 4 cards. The cards have different meanings for the spread. So if you were doing this spread just for yourself, you would say card 1 is what is my current emotional state. Card 2 is how can I develop my sense of security. Card 3 is what can my vulnerability teach me. And card 4 is where is my sensitivity heightened this cycle. I'm going to do this in the view of the United States. I do pretty much kind of political world things. If I did this for myself, it would not be on camera. I'd rather just not. And I use different cards for myself. I don't mix the two together. So there's like the cards I use on the videos, and then there's cards I'll use just for myself. And the ones I use just for myself are usually the cards that would get me in trouble on YouTube. Okay, so we're gonna do 4 cards. I'm right now they should all be right side up. I sorted the cards so they weren't reversed. And hopefully I also didn't mess them up while I was shuffling. I'm shuffling kind of weird because I'm sitting kind of far back, but I don't want to hit the table. I have a different setup. I stuck with the new webcam just to see how it looks again, see if it looks better with this other setup I have. If not, I could always go back to the iPhone. The iPhone had a good camera. Okay, so card 1. What is the current emotional state of the United States? And when I say the United States, I'm usually thinking about the people as a whole. We'll see how that plays out. Knight of Pentacles. That's the current emotional state. So when we look at the Knight of Pentacles, we have somebody who is usually, when you see the Knight of Pentacles, he's holding the pentacle or he's taking care. As you can see in this deck, the horse is not rearing up. They are both facing away, right? They're on their little journey. This is the Endless Tarot, so it's kind of like everybody's on a path, on a journey. What else? They're focused on the pentacle. They're not focused really on anything else. He's not, doesn't look like he's in a hurry to get anywhere. That kind of makes sense to me. If I think about pentacles as money, I usually think about pentacles as money or as knowledge. I would say the emotional state. People, this card, they're not moving, right? People are not moving. They're kind of feeling maybe a little stuck, but they're concerned. They're concerned about money, also concerned about information, right? When you think of the e-files coming out, what information is hidden from us and what information is available to us. So I think we're kind of, everybody wants that release, and it's a little underwhelming at the moment. Um, Hopefully that will change, but I do feel like this is kind of the state the United States is in right now. I feel like we're in a state of just waiting, but looking. We're looking at something, we're trying to admire it, or it's something that we want, or we're trying to hold our money close to us, which is probably a good idea because of the economy. But we also want that information, we want that knowledge. Okay, next card. How can I develop my sense of security? So we're looking at, for the United States, what makes the United States feel secure, or how can the United States feel more secure in its own skin? So this, the Seven of Swords. So this is interesting, right? So in this card, we have, there's swords strewn around. There's two people who are ready to fight. They're out in the woods here, so they're not directly on that path that we see a lot in these cards. They're kind of, they're ready to fight. So I think what this means is, for security, you want to feel that strength, but also feel like you have the knowledge, or the quote unquote weapon, in order to have that fight that I think the American public as a whole knows that we kind of need to do. We can't just sit around and wait for people to come to um, our to save us. Um, we need to make sure we are strategizing, and we're looking out for kind of our own interests right now. I think if we strategize, that will make us feel a lot more secure. Yeah. So there's this feeling that there's going to be a fight, right? So we have to make sure we strategize for that fight. Card three, what can my vulnerability teach me? So what's the vulnerability of the United States, and how can this help the nation grow and develop? Here we have the Six of Swords. So again, we have those swords. We have this person who is traveling in a boat. There's swords all over. What always interests me about the Six of Swords when it comes to different cards is some cards, the swords look like they are in the boat, but the person is traveling okay. This one makes me feel like, I mean, I guess the boat is still above water, but the swords make me think that it's been punctured. But this person is also carrying something. I'm not sure what, but this is the, let's see, what can my vulnerability teach me? Hmm. I have to look this one up a little bit because I'm trying to think about how it. We're thinking about transition because this person is traveling across water. We could also be thinking about the Six of Swords as releasing baggage and mental healing. So I think that's what this is saying is we have to mentally heal as a country, because I think it's very easy to say that people are tired. People are losing hope. The flash and bang of the news that comes out of the Trump administration is exhausting. And so, in that way, we are vulnerable. So, the best thing we can do is we can move on, move away. Don't get stuck, right? This card is about transition. Don't get stuck in those feelings of hopelessness. That is something that I feel is very common in all of my readings on the United States. We can't get stuck in hopelessness. So, we are going through trauma. We are feeling this period of exhaustion emotionally. We see things happening that we never really would have imagined happening in this country. And when I say we have to move on or move away, we're not forgetting. We're just have to let ourselves mentally heal and find hope, um, and get through it, and try our best really to kind of help each other get through it as well. So, where is my sensitivity heightened this cycle? So, that's card 4. So, what area is the United States particularly sensitive right now in this moon cycle? And we're looking at the King of Wands. So, kings are authority figures. Wands are about fire. Usually, the King of Wands is a visionary. There's pride, there's excitement, there's authenticity. I think right now we're sensitive in that area, and this that we are lacking vision because we're so tired. We are lacking pride for our own country because of the things that are going on, right? So usually the King of Wands is kind of a risk taker and a thrill seeker. We are lacking authenticity when it comes to those in charge. Those in charge are not at all authentic. Just wanted to show the close up of this card. Looks like the King of Wands has those the antlers. There are people following them. It's a nice card. So I think we're vulnerable, or we're sensitive, especially because our administration, so therefore our country lacks authenticity. We're also lacking vision. We need to find that vision within ourselves and each other, because that vision isn't going to come from the administration, and it's not going to come from the government. So I think for this moon cycle, there are going to be changes. There's going to be an adventure. The Chariot is Cancer, and Cancer is where the moon is now for the full moon. Um, I think that we are going to make progress, because that is the Chariot. We are going to move on in a way. Um, I think it's understandable to feel tired. It's understandable to feel exhausted. I don't think that's technically a bad thing. That's just how we're feeling. What we need to do is we need to strategize, and we need to look out for ourselves. We need to keep our money close. We have to keep our money close to ourselves, because the economy is not going to do well. And if we can help others, if we have an abundance of money and we can help others, we should do that. So keep our money close, strategize, understand that we're going through a transition and it's mentally exhausting. And we can't count on the administration because the administration uh, is not the visionary that we need. And they're also not, they're liars, basically. So there is no transparency. If the administration says they're the most transparent ever, that means they are the least transparent ever. Everything is backwards. So I think that's what we're getting for this cycle for the full moon coming up in Cancer. So again, hang in there. We're kind of all in this together, where there's a lot more of us than there is of them. We just got to remember that, uh, and we got to strategize and keep your money close at the moment. And that is my full moon in Cancer spread for the United States. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. It's nice when I get subscribers. I would like to be able to build the channel at least a little bit, because I think that will help me with my readings and being able to practice a lot more. So I do very much appreciate that as well. And have a good day. Bye.